All right, all right, all right. Hey, gang, how y'all doing? YouTube land and my conference call. So I'm doing a simulcast, but don't do both at the same time because you're going to get a delay on the conference line and the YouTube. You're going to what is it? You're going to hear it on the conference line first, and then the YouTube catches up to it. So there's a delay. Oh man. Okay, so let's rock and roll. I'm going to take this out of my ear. I tell you what, I had a rocking trip. I went out to Pittsburgh to drop in on those guys on my team. We're blowing up 6 cities in the United States that we're rotating every 2 weeks. So my top leaders on the Leventovich team. And so we're going to these 6 cities about every couple weeks. And Pittsburgh was one of the cities this week. And man, we just rocked the house. It was so much fun. We had Junior Korea out there, John Davis, and Brian Beasley. We also had Mark Bisco directing Andy Albright, and then Eduardo Soto directed Stephen Davies. Man, we just rocked. We had so much fun. And so when I did the teaching that night, it was pretty much just those guys because we sent our new guests home. And we covered some stuff that, man, I forgot I knew about this stuff, but it just kind of hit me that Gina said it was amazing. It was fun. I just say it was fun. Text me, Yuval, if you see the YouTube live stream. I hope so. It looks like it is. Okay, it's not dropping frames. So I swear I'm gonna get this live stream thing down. Okay, so what did I want to? Okay, what do I want to talk about? Well, here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about building depth. In fact, I should probably record this thing too. All right, bear with me. I'll be with you in a second. All right, man. Okay, so the theme of this talk today is I'm going to talk about the importance of building depth to blowing up your group. This is like the surefire way to blow your group up fast, but it's one of the hardest ways to do it because you have to work through spheres of influence. It's the whole idea of building depth, okay? So let's kind of define terms so y'all know what, so you know what I'm talking about, okay? So here's what width is. Building width is when you directly hire agents, okay? You go this way, okay? You directly hire agents. That's called building width. Building depth is finding people for people, okay? This person knows this person who knows this person who knows this person who knows this person. Okay, so this is called width, and this is real key to profitability. Because you earn that percentage override on every agent that you bring on in width, okay? So that's called profitability. This is called depth, and this is called your stability. So the reason why, if you've got any kind of a group while your volume goes up and down, is because you ain't got enough this. You ain't got enough stability. Depth is like the tail to a kite. Any of y'all who ever fly a kite, you've got that tail on a kite, right? And the tail is what adds stability to the kite, okay? It adds stability to the kite. Or the another analogy is you got a tree, right? And then here's the ground, and the stability of the tree is its tap root, okay? So you got the surface roots, but typically the tap root of the tree is as tall as the tree. So the deeper this is, the more stable the tree is, okay? That's all why depth is important. But why is it important to growing fast? Well, there's a lot of psychological reasons why that is. But let's just kind of start off establishing the credibility of this whole idea of depth building and warm market. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie depth building into warm market, and why warm market recruiting is probably the least costly method of building your business, right? And it's the quickest way to blow up. So let's talk about why that is, and let's establish why that is. All right, man. Eduardo's on my YouTube live stream. Okay, so yeah, Eduardo got a chance to see this in Pittsburgh. So let's talk about Andy Albright's frontline agency managers. He's got 12 direct agency managers. Okay, now, how many of those? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out each agency manager, the guys that qualified to go to Cabo at the Ring of Champions trip in Cabo this year, a few months ago. But I'm going to draw it out in terms of the relationships that Andy had developed over years to come to the point of bringing these people in. And this is why warm market's important, okay? So here's Andy Albright. Okay, now I'm drawing these groups out not in any kind of order as far as how big the leg is, how important the leg is. I'm drawing it out to show you the warm market power, the power of warm market recruiting, okay? So let me go to my drawing. And this is based on all the agency managers, qualified AMs that went to Cabo. So Andy Albright brought in Alex Fitzgerald. Alex Fitzgerald was warm market through the Amway business. In fact, Fitz was found like 4, 5, 6 deep from Andy in the Amway business. So really, Fitz really kind of came out of depth, but through warm market. So Fitz, when Andy came into this business, he brought Fitz with him. So he was a direct with, personal warm market with. Then he brought in Adam Katz, warm market Amway business. Okay, warm market Amway business. Then he brought in, I'm not going to draw a circle because he's not really a circle. Circle means that it's real agent, but he brought in a guy that was warm market Amway. Okay, and this guy brought in Alex Zabian, Jason and Tawny Carey. He brought in Eric Belair, and also it came from this guy was James and Jane Hill. So all 4 of us are direct to Andy, but Andy found him through one warm market guy that he knew in the Amway business. All right. Then he had another guy that was more market in the Amway business who led to Andy Riddle. Start to get the picture? And then one of Andy's partners, I think this is Philip Hudgens, led to Kyle Weinbrenner. And then another one of Andy's partners, Barry Clarkson, we started. So you would consider this warm market through the first agency we were with, American Classic Agency. And Barry Clarkson led to Chadwick and Melly Ray. And then we get to Andy's first cold recruit, which is Stephen Davies. So this is cold market through an ad in the newspaper. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, it's got 10 agency managers in with. Let's see if I counted for all of them. Chapman Melanie, Stephen Davies, Jason Tawney, James and Jane, Andy Riddle. Okay, so Andy has 10 agency managers in with. Okay, he doesn't have any more than 10 agency managers, and agency managers and above, obviously, some of these legs are huge. He said, Aben, you've had my structure, and he's 52 in width, right? So outside of these 10 agency managers, he's got 42 legs that are trying to be agency managers, different levels, key leader, but not AMs, not qualified AMs. And so the last cold market agency manager he broke was Stephen Davies, okay? But everyone else came through warm market. So do you think warm market's important? Okay, and then look at my group. I got Mike and Noel and Patrick Connors. Those are two massive agencies that are warm market to me, right? So the important point here is that this is majority of NA's volume. This is probably 3/4, 75% of Andy's business is through warm market. He makes what, 75 million a year? So what, probably 60 million is probably based on these legs right here. And all of them except for one is through warm market. So do you think it's important? Absolutely. So why aren't you going through your list of names? Why aren't you going through your people that you know? So if you haven't gone through your list of names, you're stupid. Andy wasn't stupid. Andy's smart. He makes more money than all of us combined. That's true. That's kind of how it works. So if he went through his warm market, how come you're not going through yours? I mean, I don't mean to be mean, but I kind of am trying to be mean here because I want you to go exhaust all the people that you know. And I bet you're going to find one or two that are going to want to do this thing. Now, here's what's cool is a lot of these people are found in depth through his warm market. So he hired a warm market guy who led to these guys, like Fitz, and I think Katz was direct. Okay, but Fitz was found in depth. I found Patrick Connors 5 deep, 4 deep for me in that other business, and you Mike Noel in the Amway business. And so you're going to find that it all leads to warm market. Okay, makes sense. So that's why warm market is important. So I'm urging you, if you've not gone through everyone that you know, you need to do that right away, because one of those people could be these people, right? So you hear what I'm saying? It's don't be stupid. Go through all your people. I went through mine and I found two that have made millions and millions over the last 17 years of two people that I knew, right? So do you think I made the smart decision? Absolutely. That's why I call myself lucky, because I knew these two people decided to do this thing, right? Okay, so I'm going to let that sink in for just a second. All right, so everyone's drawing Andy's group out. Yeah, it's not a mystery. Come on, man. Let's wake up, smell the coffee. I've already had 2 cups, so I'm kind of cranking. So, importance of warm market. But Alex, I don't have any friends. I don't have any warm market. I'm like, people are stupid. Look, I believe this. Every loser knows a winner. Every loser knows a winner. Okay? I mean, that's kind of mean to say that, but, whatever. I'm not here to be politically correct. Okay? Jesus said, I came to divide, not unify. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so if you have nobody that you know, guess what? It's important that you get the people that you bring on cold market, you get people that they know. Okay, so it doesn't got to be your warm market. It's the person you hire in with that has a warm market. And to blow up fast, you got to be good at finessing a list of names, finessing into their sphere of influence, finesse, right? So let's say you have no friends, all your friends are losers, and no one wants to get in the business. Okay, now you're left to cold market recruiting. So you're putting crisis ads, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, you're dialing resumes, you're doing all that stuff, you're getting on the CRM programs. Okay, so you bring in people in with. Okay, now some of these people, I get people telling me this all the time, but Alex, no one wants to give me a list of names. No one's interested in building. Well, here's why. It's because when you're recruiting, you're not even talking about eventually being a manager. You're only talking about being a salesperson. So you don't even plant the seed of building a business, right? You don't even plant the seed. You got to plant the seed in them. So when you're bringing people in, you got to talk about the other ways of building income in our business, which is being an agency manager. So I like to find out while I'm talking to this, hey, Joe, by the way, in your background, have you ever managed anyone before? What do you like about managing people? See, I don't ask them, what do you think about managing? If they had management experience, what did you like about it? I try to frame it positive. Well, I liked helping people. I like to see them become successful. I like coaching them. You know, and that's even another question. Have you ever managed people, or are you ever a coach of a team? What did you like about it? You know, I like this and I like that, right? Oh, that's awesome, man. Do you know that there's a career path in our business where you can become a leader of a team? We're going to help develop you, and you can earn an override on all the people on your team. So I try to use analogies. So if the guy says, yeah, I used to be a manager at IBM, and I was like the regional manager for the Northeast. Okay, so how many guys did you have working for you, guys and gals? Oh, I had 30 people working for me. Oh, that's cool. So did you earn on anything they closed? No, I didn't. I was just the manager. I got paid a higher salary. Awesome, man. Now, let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it be cool is for every account that they close that you got a 10% on the profitability of that account? How much money do you think you would have made if you had a 10% on every account that you closed for IBM, or that your people closed for IBM? How much money do you think you'd make? You go, oh my gosh, I'd make probably a couple million a year. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? Well, guess what? You have that opportunity here. See, they may have answered your ad because they're looking for a job, but until you said there's a management track, there's a chance to be a leader and get paid for it, they had never even thought about it before. Now you fertilize their mind, so when you come back later and say, hey, Joe, we need some help, man. Do you know some sharp people you think that, you know, we could talk to and interview? And I say, well, yeah, I know some people. Awesome. Guess what? I'm going to interview them, and you know what? If they start producing, or when they start producing, you're going to get a little piece of that management override on that. Is that cool? So I know your goal was to make $2,000 a week, but imagine if you're making $1,000 on your own personal production, and $1,000 of it was coming through overrides on a team that you didn't really even have to train, because I'll be doing all the training. You know, how does that sound to you? Sounds awesome. See, you found someone who didn't originally think that they were going to build a business, but because you talked about it. So you don't GET if you don't ASK, right? You got to ASK so you can GET. And that's how you fertilize. That's how you find and filter people that are open to giving you a list of names, right? So why does the list of names thing work? Well, every time you bring someone on in with, they may or may not get you into their sphere of influence. So it's just a crapshoot, right? I mean, you're just looking for someone that wants to build a business, someone that has a bigger vision, instead of just being a salesperson. Now, we need salespeople because you need to override these salespeople to fund building your business, okay? So why does the depth thing work? Well, the depth thing works great because you bring on, like Andy says, you bring on 12 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You bring on 12 people in width, and you're probably going to have, you know, maybe 3 that'll do something. Okay, then you're going to have 3 people that are going to watch. They're just going to hang around, and then you're going to have the rest of them quit. It's just what happens. It's a game of attrition. We want to keep everyone. We're nice to everyone. We don't prejudge anybody. We help everybody. But what naturally occurs in this business we call 100% commission is that you're going to find 3 people that want to get started right now, 3 people that are going to get started later, and then the rest of them are going to quit at various points. So that's just how it works in with. Well, here's the thing. What works in with works in depth. But why is depth more effective? Here's why. Because when you get 12 deep, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The same numbers are going to happen. Okay? You're going to find people that are going to do it, someone that's going to do it, right? You're going to have lookers. They kind of wait around. And you're going to have some people that quit along the way. But why is it more effective in depth? Because every single person below this guy has something to lose. This person has this person to lose. This person has this person to lose. This person has this person to lose. Everyone has something to lose. People stay in longer in the business when they have hope that they're going to earn override income versus the hope that they're going to make money themselves personally producing. Because in their mind, as personal producers, they're wanting, well, can I do this or can I not do this? They go into meetings, they're trying to get their self-image up. But if they got another downline agent, an agent on their team that they brought on the team, they've got hope that something good's going to happen. I tell you what, people hang on to hope. See, that's why we say, you ain't got to recruit until you got someone for them. They're not a recruit. They're just a circle. But you got to recruit when you've got someone underneath them, and you've got a leg when you can take it 4 deep. Now that's a leg. Okay? So you don't have a recruit until you have someone for them, and you don't have a leg until you drive it 4 deep. Because out of 4 people deep, you're going to find one person that's going to just plug into everything. They're going to do everything regardless of whether you do it or not. That's what's cool about it, right? In fact, we did a study back in the day. This might have been like 9 years ago, where we tracked the top 20 producers. The top 20 producers in the alliance. We had all top 20. And we tracked that they all came within 4 deep of their upline. The top 20 producers came within 4 deep of their upline. Is that crazy? So at least we know if you drive it 4 deep, you're going to find someone who does something. And then everyone above them, they don't want to quit. See, the key to retention in our business, the key to retention is that you give somebody to lose. People will stay in longer. They'll incubate longer. In other words, these people will quit because they don't care. The business doesn't work for them, or they're lazy, or whatever. Because they can't make money themselves, they're going to quit. But when they have hope to make money because they got a downline group coming on, they're going to stay in the business longer. They're going to get kind of peer pressured into going to family reunion and getting on conference calls because their downline is plugging in. It just forces them to do what they want to do because they have the hope that something good's going to happen. So that's why it works. Now, why do you find leaders here? Number one, you find leaders quicker here because of the incubation effect. But here's the other reason why that is. Let me use my fancy red marker. Is because when you get a list of names, and now I'm talking specifically more market, when you're jamming with more market depth, it's way more effective. Why? Because more market, there's already an existing relationship of trust between the upline and the downline. It's like when I brought Noel Leventovich on and Patrick Connors on, we've known each other for a long time, so there's already a relationship. We all loved each other. We all knew that we wouldn't hurt each other because of, our past relationship. That's why Fitz blew up under Andy and Katz because they knew Andy. They knew Andy cared about them. They knew each other. They were more forgiving of their upline because they knew their upline. They knew their upline was crazy, or Mike and Noel and Patrick knew I was kind of crazy. They forgave me of my weaknesses. They didn't judge me. And that's why we just blew up, because there's an existing relationship, a relationship of credibility, of care for each other. Sometimes it takes years to develop that. Why do you think Andy doesn't have another agency manager in with? The last one he broke in with was Davies, that cold market. Okay, I think it was Chadwick and Melanie. Might have been the last, like physically, time-wise, was the last one. But years and years and years of relationship building, of building depth underneath them, and building that relationship with that frontline person. So when you build more market depth, this person knows this person. What happens is, out of his list of, let's say, 25 people, he found this guy to get in. And so when this guy says, yeah, I've got some people I know. So this guy maybe turned over a list of 100. And then this person turned over a list of 30. And this person turned a list of 5. And this person, again, they all know each other. Like, this guy may not know this guy, but this guy knows this guy. Do you see how the chain link is there already of the relationship? This guy turned a list of 50. This one turned a list of 10. This one was 50. This was 5. This was 3. This was 10. This was 15. Okay, this one was 25. Okay, do you see the sifting process? Do you think out of all the, let's say these people, out of all the lists of names, let's say there are 500 people out of all these lists of names. Do you think you could find one person to go agency manager? Because that's all you need, is one person to go agency manager, and you can go EVP. In this entire leg, you just need one out of 500. But the thing is, you don't know who that one's going to be, but you know that out of a depth of 12 people, someone is going to get jacked up. There's probably going to be more. You'll probably have 3 leaders coming out of 12 deep. 3 people that eventually become key leaders in AMs, because that's how you build an AM, is you find a key leader. And then what these people do is they'll build a second leg if they start blowing up. And they'll find a second leg to drive. So you've got stability that comes out of this stability, additional stability. Does that make sense? Here's the other thing about building depth, is that you're going to find your leaders, but here's what happens. When you build with these people, maybe you've got this guy does 20,000, this guy does 10,000, this guy does 5,000, right? That's what you're going to get. What's the most that guy can do? I don't know. Maybe he could do 30,000 like Michelle Alleman, or 40,000 like Bill Cook. But how many Bill Cooks are there in NAA? Right? But let's just say they do that. But there's a max that they can do, because it's only them. There's only 40 hours in a week. Do you see that the volume is limited by your width? But volume is not limited by depth. Because here's what happens. It's called the cascading bubble up of volume. Volume bubbles up from depth. That's where you get excitement in depth. So let's say this guy does 5,000. Well, his upline that quit, but his upline to that guy, he's already got 5,000 volume in his group. If he does another 5,000, his group is 10,000. And let's say he has another guy, and he's trying to hump it to team builder, right? Team 10,000, team builder. He's trying to get a team builder. So he's already got this guy downline. He just needs this guy, 10,000. He's a team builder at a 70% contract. You see, he's incentivized because he's already got volume. Well, his upline, he's got what? 10,000 already in one leg. He's got 10,000 in one leg. A 10,000 in a leg is a team builder leg. And he's going to say, well, shoot, if I got 10,000, I got a couple more legs, maybe I can move up. Right? So now this guy, let's say he adds another in his group, another 10,000. So this guy's sitting at 20,000 because this guy quit. He's already sitting at 20,000 down one leg. That could be a key leader leg because of the substitution rules. And then all he has to do, right, is build a couple more legs. He's got to at least get 4, and he's already running agency manager volume. And he's got a chance to be an agency manager. Okay, and as each person adds another layer of people, they add to the volume to this up. So this leg could be doing 75,000 because it all bubbled up from depth. And it's all warm market because people want to grow fast with their friends. It's like, hey man, let's do this thing, man. And they've been together forever. So they've got that camaraderie already, man. The warm market depth rocks if you can keep it going, okay? The only problem with warm market depth is sometimes you get tapped out where you're building a leg, you're building a leg. This guy knows this guy who knows this guy, but this guy doesn't want to build it. So you're tapped out. You can't go any deeper. That's why you need to build 2 legs for every person you bring on so you got somewhere to go. If you tap out, then you can go to this leg that's growing. You want to have 2 legs at least that you're bouncing between so that you're always jamming in depth with more market. Of course, I want to leave a trail of people that are putting Craigslist ads out, they're interviewing resumes, they're doing all the stuff that we continue to do to put cold market recruits on like this so they can get the overrides on these people that are doing volume. But your massive volume comes out of depth, especially with warm market depth. Remember, warm market like what Andy has. Does that make sense? So you have got to get good at finessing into people's sphere of influence. So that's why your ability to create trust with people is so important. It's like what Andy's talking about is you got to develop the relationship. It's not about you, it's about them. Remember, depth building is not so you can build a tap root. The result of depth building is you having a tap root, right? But the purpose of building depth is to help solidify this dude. You want this guy to stay in long enough to catch it. See, the business is caught, not taught. The only way they stay long enough to catch it is they got somebody to lose. So you want that guy to stay in longer, so you're going to find someone for him. Well, you want that guy to stay in longer, so you find someone for him, right? You want all these people to stay in and help us build this thing huge to go to $1 billion. So you see, this is the skeleton. Think of this as like your spine, right? And what happens is these people plug into the system, they take advantage of the 18-player steps. They're 8 core value people. They believe in PIE, prosperity, inspiration, eternity. They do light of day, duplication, association, edification. They do the 18-player steps, 8 core values, all the things that are on our playbook. You're going to find those people. And when they do it, they do the volume. And when they do the volume and do the work, then the business gets fleshed out. See, the system will help you build the width in depth. The system will help build volume in this leg, and then all that volume, you're going to make that massive override. So the system keeps the glue of your business together. The glue is the system. Why do you think Andy gets fanatical about you texting? Hey, Bo, are you on the TWC? Hey, Bo, are you on the activity call? Because more people that plug in, the more chances of this, especially in depth, of this happening to you. Volume bubbles up in depth. It's incredible. That's why you got to know why you're doing everything. You got to know why you need to get a list of names. You got to know why you're talking about the management opportunity. Hey, Joe, have you ever coached a team? Have you ever managed anybody before? Would you like to? Here are the benefits. You're planting the seed. So when you ask them, hey, dude, do you know anybody that might be able to help us out? We're hiring all over the country. We got leads, man. We got carriers that got a lot of money they want to give away to agents that want to run our leads. Oh, by the way, you can financially benefit, but here's the cool thing. Your friends can benefit because you give them an opportunity. Okay? So that's why you build depth. Why depth, more market depth is more important. All depth's important. You got to build depth, but the most important depth is more market depth because you jump down. Now, okay, so let's talk about quality. Okay, remember I said every loser knows a winner. So let's say you bring this dude on, and okay, no offense to those people that work at fast food, but let's say you bring this guy. He's got a self-image of a 3. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10. You bring in a 3. How do I know he's a 3? Because on his resume, he's worked at Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, right, and Burger King. And the highest position was the fry oil changer guy. Okay? Now, he's a child of God. He's just like me. He's equal to me. But because I see what he's done in his career, his self-image is probably a 3 because he doesn't believe he's made in the image and likeness of God. Therefore, he's already a 10, but he doesn't believe it. So when I bring this guy in, I know I got a lot of work with him, or her so that their self-image goes up so they can produce more, they can believe in themselves more, they'll do more for their families. But you know what? What happens when you're building a warm market with a 3 is that most 3s know 2s. And the first people they want to recruit are the people that they have a better self-image than, okay? So this 3 is going to bring in a whole bunch of 2s. And these 2s are going to bring 1s. And these 1s might know a 2. And this 2 might know a 3. But then this 3 brings you back to a 2. And all of a sudden you're building a taproot of projects. Now, I'm not against projects. I mean, literally, I was a project when I came into the Amway business. I mean, we're all projects at some level. But I'm still a project, but my self-image, I think, is at like a 9, right? And so, by virtue of hanging around guys like Andy Albright, I know a bunch of 9s and 10s. So here, you can build a taproot of projects, or you can build taproots of high self-image people that you don't have to wait so long for them to catch it, because they already got a high self-image. So let's say you bring in an 8. Okay, and this 8 knows a 9. This 9 might know a 10. They're not that scared to show it to a 10. He knows a bunch of 9s, has an 8, brings in a 9. You start building taproot with 8, 9s, and 10s, brother. You get a little seasoning on them with our system. They start believing, and it's a matter of months when they blow up, not a matter of years. Does that make sense? And they all know each other. Okay, let me emphasize, more market of 8, 9s, and 10s, you're jamming, dude. I mean, you're jamming, all right? So I hope I didn't offend anybody out there, but you know what I'm talking about if you've done any kind of recruiting. All right, so let me draw out what the skeleton of your business should look like at EVP, 1.2 million. I mean, you can do this at every level, but let's just, because that's a 110. I love being at a 110. When I bring in 55% people, I make what they make. So if I can get a 55% person to make 50 grand a year, guess what? Alex Avian makes 50 grand a year because I help someone make 50 grand a year. Is that cool? So you can do the math in your own head. Why 110 is a cool place to be. Just ask Fitz. Just ask Fitz. He's killing it, man, killing it. All right, so EVP, that's the trapezoid. EVP, 110%. Well, an EVP consists of 6 legs, 4 AMs, and 2 key leaders. All right, 4 AMs and 2 key leaders. You're making about 1.2 million, right? And this is what it looks like for taproots. These 4 legs, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're probably 12 deep. Okay, not necessarily have to be warm market. Remember, I said the warm market in depth grows your business faster. It'll blow up if it's all warm market. But you're going to get people that just, they start recruiting, cold recruiting, start putting ads in papers. They're going to have to go through more people to find the next one. And then it's going to take time for them to build trust with relationships, unless they found someone cold market that they continued the warm market recruiting. So remember, there could be breaks in here with cold market, but as long as you continue with warm market, you're going to grow it faster. So what this looks like, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You should have circles and this structure in your head. I think that's 12. And then key leader, you're probably by 6 for sure. Like, this is conservative. You'll probably find them sooner than that, because it's not necessarily this guy. Remember, it's a key leader down here is the same as a key leader up here. AM down here, let's say this guy goes AM, well, you get credit for the entire leg as an AM leg. And so what happens is you started with this guy first. So the progress of your business, it kind of goes like this. And then, again, more time, it'll look like this. More time, it'll look like this. So that's a triangle effect. It's like you run with the people that you identify first. Okay, you run with the people that you identify first, but you need to find two. Two is a magic number. You want to build depth, you want to be actively in two strong legs, and you got 3 and 4 that you're working depth into as well. Okay, but Alex, do I stop putting on width when I find 4 legs I can build depth in? No, you always put width on. You always put width on, but when you've got a choice in your time to spend time with sharp couples in depth, that takes precedence over putting more legs on. But hear me, you need to do both. You need to walk and chew gum at the same time. You always need to continue to put width on. I've not stopped recruiting. Andy's not stopped recruiting. So I watch what Andy does. But Andy slows down to work with the people that are like 8, 9s, and 10s. 8, 10, 9, right? 7, 6. Okay, he's going to find these people and spend time with them, pour his resources into these people when he finds them. You know, he may not really spend that much time with the 6 until he can find someone better that's like an 8 or a 10, and then see what he's doing. So you do what he's doing. You find your sharpest self-image person, and it's not necessarily by what they're doing, but it's by their character that you judge them until they start doing something, and then that's another data point, right? If they have less junk to get over to build this business, then you've got someone. It's more about what less problems they have in their lives versus other people with lots of problems. And you can tell just by talking to them and finding out about them, which is why he spent so much time the last several weeks on getting to know people and caring about them, is then you can evaluate them and understand them and find out, do I have someone who's got fewer issues than this person? I need to work with the people that have a great self-image. They have fewer issues. Okay? I build my business quicker with those people. Everyone else, they're going to catch up if they decide to. But I'm going to spend my time, energy, and effort with the people that are the character people that have less junk to get over, and they're more streamlined in their self-image especially. All right? So that's where I'm spending time, and then you're going to see this effect, the triangle effect. That's why Andy talks about it all the time. But you need to have 2 legs, man. 2, build it and buy 2s. There's a reason why Noah brought, what 2 by 2? Build 2 legs. I mean, please build. Don't be a one-legged agency manager that's broke. Agency managers that only focus on, well, I only have 1 leg are broke. Why? Because that leg blew up and they're only making a 5%, or they're not making any override on that leg. So you got to build depth in multiple legs. You got to be smart like that and not just jamming 1 leg. But here's the thing: if you have 1 leg, praise God, because there are a lot of people that don't have 1 leg. But if you get that 2nd leg, man, you're rocking. So that is what 1.2 million looks like in terms of tap roots. Okay, in this triangle mode. Okay, so let's see if I got any text questions. Okay, text me with any questions. Anybody? All right, man. Well, I don't see any, so I give it some time to catch up because there's a delay. But I hope this makes sense. I hope that you are going to get good at getting a list of names. It's just asking them, hey, Bo, hey, brother, hey, sister, who do you know that can help us out? Okay, who do you know that can help us out? I'm sure you know some sharp people. There might be, just like in your situation, you were checking out ads. You don't know how many friends you have that are probably doing the same thing you're doing. You just don't know it. So why don't we, find some people to help us out? We need more people in your area. Okay, I mean, that's where the people skill books come in. Okay, like massively come in, not only developing relationships and selling, right, being a pleasant and comfortable person with people, but also to develop credibility and comfort level with people that you're asking to get into their sphere of influence, right? To help them. Remember, you're doing it to help them. It's like referrals. It's like the ERS. You're getting ERS to benefit that client, your client, right? If they pass away, right? So we're doing the same thing when we're looking for a list of names. We're looking to benefit our people because we want them to stay in long enough so they catch the Albright vision. Makes sense? And depth is how you get that, especially in warm market. Yeah, man, per leg, 12 deep per leg, Bo. And ideally, you're like 12 deep in 2 legs. So like, make no mistake, okay? You can delegate the second leg to the upline guy or gal if they know what they're doing, but you're just bouncing around. Does it take a lot of work? Absolutely. This is hard. It is simple if you understand it, but it's hard. But it's worth it because now you can visualize what you're trying to accomplish. Before, it's just this massive bunch of circles. You have no idea what you're drawing out or why you're drawing it out. This is why you're drawing it out, because you're evaluating the sharpest people self-image wise and how deep they are in that leg. The deeper, the better. Okay? And if you've got 2 legs, you're jamming in depth, praise the Lord, because you got options. When you got 2 legs, you got options. You need options to keep that leg jamming. You never want to tap out, especially with more market, because it's a lot of wasted time, right? So your time's worth something. It's a lot of work, but it's simple. Makes sense? Any other questions? All right, no other questions. All right, gang. Well, I've got 12 o'clock and, 11:57. All right, man. Well, I hope that made sense. I hope that gave you an idea of why depth is important, particularly more market depth, how you can jam so that you can blow up, right? Remember the rule. You don't got to recruit until you got a recruit for them, and you don't have a leg until it's 4 deep. Make sense? All right, man. Rock and roll. God bless you.